Now let's do a quick whip around the world and get you some updates on COVID-19, starting with Africa, specifically South Africa, where the president announced tough measures, which include a lockdown. President Cyril Ramaphosa said the next few days are crucial in combating the spread of coronavirus. There are currently 402 cases in the country, which is a six-fold increase from just 8 days ago. The president said in a live televised address this, among other things.
We have learned a great deal from the experience of other countries. Those countries that have acted swiftly and dramatically have been far more effective in controlling the spread of the disease. As a consequence, the National Coronavirus Command Council has decided to enforce a nationwide lockdown for 21 days with effect from midnight on Thursday, the 26th of March. This is a decisive measure to save lives of South Africans from infection and save the lives of hundreds of thousands of our people. While this measure will have a considerable impact on people's livelihoods, on the life of our society and on our economy, the human cost of delaying this action would be far, far greater. The nationwide lockdown will be enacted in terms of the Disaster Management Act and will entail the following. From midnight on Thursday, 26th March, until midnight Thursday, the 16th of April, all South Africans will have to stay at home. The categories of people who will be exempted from this lockdown are the following: health workers in the public and private sectors, emergency personnel, those in security services such as the police, traffic officers, military medical personnel, soldiers, and other persons necessary for our response to the pandemic. It will also include those involved in the production, distribution, and supply of food and basic goods, essential banking services, the maintenance of power, water and telecommunication services, laboratory services, and the provision of medical and hygiene products.
Let's learn a little bit more about the situation in South Africa. Our colleague Mapito Sebidi is there. Joins us now via Skype. Mapito, it's rather a big announcement from your president, and his intention now is for the entire nation to be on full lockdown. How are people responding to this?
Okay, firstly, hi Kojo. I'd like to correct you. We are at 554 cases now. So from 402 when the president spoke, we have recorded 153 new COVID-19 cases. So we're currently sitting on 554 cases. A lot of people were expecting this lockdown because the president was supposed to speak on Sunday, but he postponed it. And there were speculations that there'll be a lockdown. And then finally, the president announced a lockdown. There's been a lot of panic buying, although the president did warn against this. There's been a lot of panic buying, and people are also worried about people who earn wages or per hour or per day. How will they be able to panic buy? But the president has warned against this. And the health minister, Zweli Mkhize, said anyone who refuses to be isolated when they test positive for COVID-19 will have their names published to warn the public to not get close to that person. And if they ask you to go into quarantine, you need to go to quarantine. And if you don't, they will enforce it. We also have the military working with the health minister.
Yeah, so at the moment, is there any plan to provide any kind of economic support for people while the country is on lockdown?
All right, so the President Ramaphosa has announced economic plans to cushion South Africa against the impacts of the virus, including a solidarity fund geared at the support for those whose lives have been disrupted. And anyone can start contributing. Any South African, anyone actually can start contributing at www.solidarityfund.co.za. And we also have small businesses who will be affected that they can apply for some sort of a cushion or, to be exempted from certain interest and taxes. So you just have to apply, and then depending on what your business needs and how much funding your business needs, that's when they'll attend to you. So they'll make it a case-by-case type of situation.
Mapito, tell me about your own situation. How concerned are you about how things are evolving? Are you worried about catching coronavirus? What are you doing to stay safe?
What am I doing to stay safe? I'm listening to the president and I'm staying at home. We've got enough food, and if we have to go out and buy more food, we can go out. I mean, it's not like a total lockdown. If you want to go get essential supplies, then you can go out. But my situation, I'm okay. Our family is all right. We've got enough food. And we are just praying for this to get better. And we're playing our part in flattening the curve by staying at home, washing our hands, sanitizing, restricting our movements, really. Because, that's just about it. Restricting your movements, washing your hands, and flattening the curve.
It's going to be absolutely all right, Mapito. Thank you for speaking to us. We appreciate you. And that's our colleague, Mapitso Sebidi, speaking to us from South Africa, where their president, Cyril Ramaphosa, has announced a lockdown of the country. Now, let's look at the latest figures from around the world regarding coronavirus. At the moment, 400,450 live cases across the world. 17,451 people have lost their lives as a result of this virus. But 103,750 have recovered. That's a number that is going up as well. It's encouraging to see that. But what that means is that we have 279,249 live cases. The good news is that only 4% of that number have serious or critical symptoms. About 12,358 people around the world have serious or critical symptoms. Most of them, 266,891 of them, 96% of them, have mild or no symptoms at all. All right, now perhaps we can look at some of the countries specifically and see how they're doing. So many new deaths overnight, unfortunately. Very sad, but let's see what it does to the big figures. China still has the most cases, 81,171, but they've only had 78 new cases, most of those from outside China. Total deaths 3,277. Only 7 more lives have been lost over the past 24 hours. Italy still in second place with a rather shocking 63,927, inching up closer and closer to the China number. It's terrible. 6,077 of them, of course, have lost their lives. All right.